So, Acho, do you blame Dak Prescott for the Cowboys' loss to the Seahawks?
Man, Marcellus, I've been taking such a deep dive into this, and I'm about to give the fans something they might not like, but it's like medicine. It'll be good for them in the long run.
Okay.
I don't blame Dak Prescott for the Cowboys' loss.
There you go. Way to go back home to Dallas.
I blame Dak Prescott for the Cowboys not winning. I don't blame him for the Cowboys' loss. I blame Dak Prescott for the Cowboys not winning. We live in a NFL era right now where the quarterback gets all the praise and the quarterback gets all the blame. Right or wrong, it's what it is. Last week, the Cowboys come back and beat the Falcons. We didn't give kudos to the Cowboys special teams coach. We said, oh, hail Dak Prescott. We didn't give kudos to the Cowboys kickoff onside team, recovering a play in fantastic fashion. Oh, hail Dak Prescott. So now, when the Cowboys lose, I'm not going to blame Dak Prescott for their loss. But I will blame Dak Prescott for their lack of winning. If you're running the 4x100 and Usain Bolt, the fastest man to ever live, if he gets the baton in third place, it's not his fault they're in third place, Marcellus. It's not. I'm not going to blame Usain Bolt if he finishes in third place.
I see what you're doing now.
But it's Usain's fault if he doesn't take them to win the game because Usain is supposed to be that great. What I've learned now in NFL football is quarterbacks can atone for the sins of everyone else. I don't care about turnovers right now, Marcellus. I don't care about time of possession, and I'm a defensive guy. But look statistically, the best quarterbacks win the games. 14 games were played yesterday. We can throw the tie out the window. Only in 2 games.
You would throw that tie out the window.
I mean, just because you'll get my point. You'll get my point.
Okay, I hope.
Only in 2 games did the worst quarterback win.
By what metric is worse?
By the metric of eyeballs, right? Whatever we would all... The consensus of what we said. Here's what I mean. Seahawks beat the Cowboys. Russ is better than Dak. The Bills beat the Rams. Jared Allen is better than Goff right now. Josh Allen is better than Goff right now. The Browns, they beat the Washington football team. Baker Mayfield right now is better than Dwayne Haskins. Let's go on and on and on and on the list. We are. But go down the whole list. Y'all take your time. Go down the whole list. The team with the better quarterbacks win the game. So it's not Dak's fault. My first lap, and I got laps for you.
I can tell.
I got laps for you. It's not Dak Prescott's fault that the Cowboys lost. But in an era where your quarterback can atone for the sins of everybody else, it's Dak Prescott's fault the Cowboys didn't win.
Woo! Look, I could put it on Dak. And putting it on Dak in the moment may sound like, what, a 180 from me? But it actually will serve a greater point that I want to make about the Cowboys and Dak Prescott. So, yeah, I can blame Dak because Dak, despite having consecutive career games, we saw a guy who didn't play a clean game. And Mike McCarthy pointed that out. Dak Prescott with the 2 turnovers and then the one at the end of the game. We're going to say it's 3, but really that one, that's Hail Mary almost situation. But the one going into the half and then the strip sack, actually those land on the resume of Dak Prescott. Now we're in the pickle of Dak is the reason why they're in these games, but then Dak is the reason they don't win a game yesterday. And let's talk about that game yesterday. Because that game yesterday saw an offensive line, a mash unit that went through 3 different lineup switches during the game. They had the center go play guard. They had the guard go play tackle. He's like, excuse me, I ain't played that since college, but okay, whatever. And you saw them not having Tyron Smith out there as well. That was just to start the game. How did the game end? Basically with a 5th rounder from Seattle getting a sack where Tyron Smith would have been. Interesting. How about Ezekiel Elliott? Oh, my God, Zeke. Off to his worst start in his young career in terms of a 3-game stretch. In terms of not giving a balance to this offense, Dak Prescott is now walking around looking at saying, where's my help? Now, the receiving core is dependent on Dak Prescott, so I keep them together in tandem. But when you talk about the offensive line and all the issues they have and how porous they are, no balance in a running game, then yeah, Dak Prescott's going to do too much. As we use this excuse for Carson Wentz and others who struggle, when you're trying to do too much, you may make a turnover or 2. You may have an issue or 2. That's the only thing that I could poke a hole at with Dak. Yesterday, going on the road against the front-running MVP, you are in a last possession, last-second game once again, only because Dak Prescott was on the field, even though Dak didn't play his perfect game.
Here's what I will say to that. And I don't think that I'm not going to provide injuries as an excuse. Injuries can be an explanation. Dak Prescott, I don't want to hear about the Cowboys' offensive line woes. Eagles are maligned. The Giants are maligned. The Washington football team, they have a head coach who's going through one of the toughest battles right now and battling cancer. Everybody is going through something, so we can't even talk about injuries. But let's nitpick, because that's what you have to do in the game of football.
Right.
If Russell Wilson were the quarterback for the Cowboys, when the Cowboys were down 28-30, remember, fourth quarter, Cowboys down 28-30. Russell Wilson more than likely would have gone down and scored a touchdown, not a field goal. But we have to nitpick because, Dak, you want big-time money, so you're going to have to get big-time critique. It's 23 seconds left in the game, and I'm going to show y'all the clip because Troy Aikman said it's a good thing he didn't catch this ball. Dak Prescott throws the ball high to Cedric Wilson, 23 seconds left in the game. If the ball is on target, if it's out ahead of him, who knows what would have happened? We don't know because it wasn't. Now, because the ball was high, Troy Aikman's going to say, it's a good thing you didn't catch it. You would have had to burn a timeout. But did y'all not see Alvin Kamara yesterday catch a ball, break 4 tackles, and get into the end zone? We don't even have to look at Alvin Kamara. Let me show y'all Cedric Wilson again earlier on in the game.
Where'd he go?
A ball on target and what he does with it. Now, it's earlier on in the game. Dak Prescott puts this ball on target, on the money. Well, no, this is another play with the 4-minute mark left. Dak Prescott misses a tight end. Just hit the tight end. Just hit the tight end, and maybe you get a touchdown that drive instead of settling for a field goal. My issue here is very simple. Dak Prescott has to be great enough to overcome the other obstacles in the game. Dak Prescott, he only got sacked twice. Russell Wilson got sacked 4 times. Don't talk to me about the fact that the Cowboys' offensive line couldn't hold up.
You don't want to hear that?
No. Alden Smith, the Cowboys' defensive end, he leads the NFL in sacks.
I know.
So just FYI.
I said.
So Russell Wilson was also running for his life. Now, on that last possession, 3rd and 3, Russell Wilson throws a touchdown pass. Sure, he had time. But Russell Wilson's also running for his life. So the fact of the matter is, Dak Prescott is very good. He's a very good quarterback. Dak Prescott is not an elite quarterback. And if you want to win Super Bowls, you have to be elite. That's what we've seen. Even Marcellus, and this is my second lap. That's where I'm going to end.
Wow.
Even in Super Bowls, the team with the better quarterback wins the game. Outside of the Seahawks beating the Broncos 2013, and outside of the Panthers beating the Broncos, outside of the Panthers losing to the Broncos in 2015.
Wipe your brow, big dog.
Please.
I know I'm putting heat on you, bro.
I'm sweating.
And I ain't even did anything yet. I'm not even into my personality lane, which is my stronger lane. I'm in my analysis lane, which is your lane, which I'm beating you in already. You're over there sweating. It's amazing that I asked my guy, my co-host, what's the metric to tell me that the better quarterbacks won yesterday? He says the eyeball test. That's a metric? Okay, University of Texas. Then he comes out and says, Dak's not elite. Dak's not elite, but he had no offensive line.
Okay. Don't even start doing this,
I won't do this.
You're not going to win this one.
Ezekiel Elliott had 14 carries for 34 yards. Dak goes out there and they say, forget the game plan. Mike McCarthy on his hiatus just decided that I'm just going to be pass happy. They have 57 pass attempts. They go out there and still Russell Wilson, the front-running elite MVP, is on all fours praying to the sports gods that he can win another nail-biter. And if Dak is not elite or whatever you want to call Russell Wilson, if he's not bottom tier of Russell Wilson, because I get it, Russell Wilson's playing out of his mind.
Of course.
But if Dak is not in that neighborhood, how in the hell does a team hang in there to the last possession? I'm talking about it was 6 seconds left in that game before you finally realized who was going to win that game. Please explain to me how Dak Prescott's not in the neighborhood of Russell
Unless, Marcellus, you think it is sheer coincidence that Russell Wilson is 11-2 in the last 2 years in games decided by 7 points or less.
Why you never go back to Dak's entire career when you want to do that? Because Dak has a winning percentage.
No, because what are we? I'm not going to talk about Tom Brady back in 2003.
So why are you going to last year Russell Wilson?
Because what's most recent?
Most recent is this year.
Let me get to my point.
Because Dak just did that last week.
Even this year.
Dak just did it last week.
Let me get to my. Okay, then Dak is still 1-2 in games decided by 7 or less.
With no help.
He's still 1-2.
With no help.
Who has help? You create help. Russell Wilson has Tyler Lockett. Russell Wilson has Tyler Lockett, a 5'8", 180-pound receiver.
I already told you a bunch of the receivers.
Russell Wilson has DK Metcalf, who sacrificed 7 points yesterday. And you're going to tell me that Dak Prescott, who has Michael Gallup, Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, Ezekiel Elliott has no help. Okay, and now you're going to tell me, wait, Dak Prescott has no offensive line. Wow. Let's talk about the Giants. Their super freakazoid star running back is gone. Let's talk about the Eagles. They have no offensive line. Wow. I don't care about
what kind of shoes
anymore.
you got on?
I'm not. I ain't got no shoes
right now.
I got no shoes.
You are jumping around. First of all, stop giving me names. I need game. Ezekiel Elliott had 14 carries, 34 yards, slipping in the end zone to give up safeties. Talking about, yeah, I need to do better. You need to do better. You think so? How about the fact that the Dallas Cowboys on defense, 25th ranked now, 30th in giving up points? Hold on. So they don't have a defense. It's overrated. Zeke, the first 3 weeks of this season, overrated. Dak is making this work with a passing game. And to that point of the passing game, what's amazing is when Dak first got in the league, as any rookie, you throw them out there to the fire and they go 13-3. You know what the percentage of passes were that year? 51%. Then they were like, oh, we got a good quarterback here. Next year, 52%. Oh, we got a really good 56%. Last year, 58%, and he has a PR year in terms of his numbers. This year, 65.7%. Hold on, big dog. What is going on right now in terms of the play calling? You know what's happening? Whatever Ezekiel Elliott and this running game is going through, it's not supporting Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott is putting this team on his back. They're lucky they're 1-2 because they got Dak. If without Dak, you know where this team would be with these numbers?
Probably 1-2. Probably 1-2.
34-yard rushing attack and a 30th ranked points allowed defense. You know what that adds up to? All those sorry teams you talk about.
Marcellus, you act as if the Seahawks were ground and pounding yesterday. The Seahawks only averaged what? The Seahawks, Russell Wilson was the Seahawks' second leading rusher also, just like Dak Prescott. Just like Dak Prescott.
Who do you go against?
You're talking about the defense?
Yeah, the Dallas defense. Man, I'm trying to tell you.
The Seahawks defense isn't vaunted.
No, it's not.
The Seahawks defense is giving up 31 points, 35 points, and 20-some-odd points.
And that's my point. You just said the MVP is still having nail-biters. And why is he having a nail-biter? You last week just told me how amazing Cam Newton looked and how great the Patriots looked when they took him to him a nail-biter. But then when Dak comes in here and does the same exact thing without any help, you can't give him the same credit.
No. Here's what I would say.
Give Cam Newton credit at least.
Great, but you have to look at things differently. Here's what I mean by that. Here's what I mean by that. We'll talk about this more later. Joe Burrow, oh, my God, he's playing amazing.
He played well.
Joe Burrow played well for a rookie. If Joe Burrow was, if Patrick Mahomes put up Joe Burrow's numbers, we wouldn't say, oh, man, Patrick Mahomes played great. Everything is in context. Cam Newton, he did play great. But Cam Newton played great for a guy who's 0-8 in his last 8 starts prior to this season.
The Seattle game?
Yes, Cam played great. He put up 397 yards. Cam did play great, but everything is looked at in context. Dak Prescott is playing great. But the difference between winning...
Now we're getting somewhere.
I said that. But the difference between winning and losing, you know this. A blade of grass. 24% of games are decided by 3 points or less. 53% of games are decided by 7 points or less. Russell Wilson, 11-2 in his last 7 games, in his last 2 years, decided by 7 points or less. The game is decided by inches. And what I'm saying is the difference between extraordinary and ordinary is what? That little bit extra.
And I love all that. Thank you for the cliches. Here's my thing, big dog. This is their 3rd game together with a new head coach. Oh, my God. This is a guy that is going out there without any support and does the same thing.
How can you say this?
Later. He actually plays better in a week later, not a clean game, than a Cam Newton, and you give him all the credit in the world. Here's the thing I want to push back on you.
How can you say this?
The numbers. I want to push back on you in this respect, and we're going to move on transition. You're being real typical, because you know I spent some time in Dallas right now. And I know your history. You grew up in Dallas, right?
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
And since your time in Dallas, you've won tremendous success. I can say that. You've been great. You've been an amazing person. But instead of coming back to your roots, coming back to Dallas, you're one of those cats that, I don't know, either goes to Austin. Did you spend some time in Austin? Or more importantly, go to L.A. And you know what's so funny? When I was in Dallas, they talked about guys like you because they lose their way. They lose their perspective. And you last week just sold me on how great Cam Newton was in that game. And then I see Dak Prescott do the same thing, if not more, with less. And all of a sudden, he got to get killed.
Cam, no. You're not going to slide this one.
Oh.
You're going to tell me that Cam Newton has less than Dak Prescott. Cam Newton had more than Dak Prescott. Cam Newton has Julian Edelman, N'Keal Harry. I'm not even going to entertain that. No.
Hey, that's what the world told me. He's going to be a future Hall of Famer.
Oh, don't worry. I'm going to start you on this next topic, too. Go ahead and transition.
Stay in Dallas, the place you never go back to. With turnovers and bad defense, that told the story in their loss to the Seahawks. Dak Prescott had 2 picks and a fumble. but Dallas's defense didn't fare any better. They sacked Russell Wilson 4 times, but also gave up 5 touchdown passes to the MVP frontrunner. Probably 6. You know what happened on the other one. So, Acho, are these the same old Cowboys?
They are, man. And they are because for the last 15 years, since I was in Dallas, since I was in high school in Dallas,
How long
the last 15 years.
15 years ago?
Take it back 15 years. You know, I was in high school 15 years ago.
Go home.
When I was even in Dallas, the Cowboys were what, Marcellus? Had a good quarterback, really good quarterback in Tony Romo.
Oh, okay.
Really good quarterback. Right. They had stars. Oh, my God. You had Dez Bryant. You had DeMarco Murray, Jason Witten in his prime. Ooh. You had stars. You had sizzle, but you didn't have no substance. You had so much sizzle, but you didn't have any substance. Cowboys have all the stars in the world right now. Ezekiel Elliott, CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper. Yeah. You got 2 first-round receivers. You got a third-round receiver. You got a first-round running back. You have one of the greatest steals in recent era of quarterbacks in Dak Prescott. But you don't have any substance. Furthermore, here's the real issue with the Cowboys. Nepotism strikes again. Oh. Cronyism strikes again. Jerry Jones, start hiring the most qualified and stop hiring your homeboys. And stop letting your homeboys hire your homeboys. Who is the Cowboys' defensive coordinator? I believe it's a man by the name of Mike Nolan, if I'm not mistaken. Mike Nolan, how does he know Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy? Mike Nolan hired Mike McCarthy to be his OC when Mike Nolan was with the 49ers back in 2006. The last time Mike Nolan was a DC, he finished 24th, 26th, 27th as the defensive coordinator. And that was in 2012, 2013. Marcellus, how in God's name does a man who hasn't been a defensive coordinator since 2012, and when he was a defensive coordinator in 2012, was god-awful, how is he now the defensive coordinator for the Cowboys? The same Cowboys who have the 3rd worst defense in the National Football League. Jerry Jones has built this whole Cowboys organization. No, I'm not done yet. He built this whole Cowboys organization off nepotism and crony. Jason Garrett, last Cowboys head coach, son of a longtime scout, former Cowboys quarterback. Kellen Moore, offensive coordinator, former Cowboys quarterback. Start hiring people that actually should be there instead of sitting here playing all these favorites.
Oh, wow. Are these the same old Cowboys?
Yes.
Hell no, for good and bad reasons. And let's go through that. But let's first talk about this. What did you say, nepotism, cronyism? You want to go there? Damn, last time I checked, Bill Belichick's son is on staff.
Absolutely.
Is Bill Belichick the greatest coach of all time? I wonder if you're really trying to make a correlation with who's on your staff based on relationship and how the success of your franchise. You can't do that.
Cowboys don't have that luxury. They don't have the luxury.
And I saw a team in the Super Bowl with Kyle Shanahan. I wonder if Shanahan, that sounds familiar. I wonder how that got. Anyway, McVay, I wonder, damn it. Never mind. Okay, anyway, let's just get out of that lane. Let's get into this lane that I can beat you because these facts are just going to destroy you. Dak Prescott is now being put in a position because of his contract demands, even though he already has $35 million on the table, he's like, not enough, which is true. You know why? Because when Dak first came to this Cowboys team, he was 63% of the offense, rookie year, 13-3. That went up to 73% last year in a career year. You know what it is right now? Because of the lack of support.
Oh, my God.
Support. Sizzle is not substance. Lack of support. 83%. By comparison, Mahomes is at 70%, and Aaron Rodgers, the great, is at 65%. They are asking Dak, as Giselle would say, to throw the ball and catch the ball. And Giselle didn't say this, but go out there and block for yourself, too, and help out in the running game as well. That's what's happening right now, big dog. I have nothing else to say about Dak Prescott in terms of how he's helping this team and carrying it on his back. But let's talk about the Cowboys of old. Because if you really want to go old, like my old school, you see, your old school is like Tony Romo. My old school is they won 3 out of 4 championships when you were like an infant. Okay, that's old. And then if you want to go like, recent old school, you have to look at the names and say, are they living up to the billing? Only Dak Prescott of all those names, Tyron Smith, you can say it. You can say Ezekiel Elliott. You can say recent history right now, this season. Who is playing up to their name contract value? There's no one on defense.
Michael Gallup for sure is. CeeDee Lamb for sure is.
Are we really rolling out the Dallas Cowboys when we see the montage of faces and seeing Michael Gallup in the top 3?
You just asked me, though. You just asked me. He was a third-round pick.
Who's making him?
He was a third-round pick.
Who's making him?
He is. He is. Who beat the receiver yesterday? Who beat the receiver yesterday?
You keep trying to go to the receiving core, and which is making my Dak point even stronger. Dak is doing it all with his receiving core without the support of the protection, without the support of the running running game and certainly without the support of the defense.
Dude, okay, first off, I got to ask my producers, do y'all have, I'm going to bring up my graphic from the next block. I might have to bring it up to this block.
Oh, look, I got you on the ropes. You changing your game plan.
No. Y'all let me know in my ear, but I'm going to keep talking for now. Marcellus, stop with this twisted, convoluted narrative.
You don't like me.
The Cowboys have a top 2 offense in the NFC by skill position.
Hold on, they got the number 1 offense in the NFL.
Offense in the NFC.
Number 1 by NFL.
Yeah, but I'm talking about support. I'm going to completely undress your support argument. The Cowboys have 3 receivers, 3 of them, that are better than any other receiver in the rest of the NFC East.
What's your metric?
3 of them right now.
Metric?
Any metric you want to use, I don't care. Any metric.
The eyeballs again.
Let's go first-round picks then. Let's use that metric.
Oh, you can't do that.
Then what metric do you want to use? You tell me. Use a statistical metric.
Out of your emotional opinion, it takes me into reality.
Okay, then use a statistical.
Any metric.
Then use a statistical metric. Michael Gallup had 138 yards yesterday. Not all because of Dak Prescott. Because Michael Gallup is beating DBs. You have to get open.
He's playing great.
CeeDee Lamb.
Keep going.
Is balling
Keep
right now.
On that list. say a name that you never said before.
Cedric Wilson is balling right now.
Have you ever said that name on this show before?
Okay.
I wonder where that came from.
Because I asked for the Cedric Wilson clip. Please run the Cedric Wilson clip, not the Dalton Schultz clip. Run the Cedric Wilson clip. I want to see Cedric Wilson and what he did, not Dak Prescott, what Cedric Wilson did. Because Dak Prescott, Marcellus, let's watch this. Let's watch this.
I wonder where his name
Who deserves this credit? Who deserves that credit?
On a single play?
Who deserves that credit? Who deserves that credit? Thank you. Dak Prescott, Marcellus.
That's your point?
No, my point is this.
One clip?
My point is this. Dak Prescott had 472 yards yesterday.
Oh, I wonder who helped him do that.
40% of those yards after catch.
That's what they all do.
No. That's not what they all do.
Yes, it is.
Russell Wilson, he had 315 yards yesterday. 23% of those yards after catch.
Yeah.
So my point being, don't tell me that Dak has no help. 40% of Dak's yardage came from help. Russell Wilson, 20% of his yardage came from help. Dak outthrew Russell Wilson by 150 yards. But without the yak, by 40 yards. All Dak has right now, don't discredit Cedric Wilson, Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup. 40% of his yards came from help. Plays like that.
You can't be glued to your notes. I know you did.
I'm not even looking at my notes. I'm looking at Eagles notes. These are Eagles notes. I'm not even looking at notes.
It sounds like you are talking about the Eagles or something else, not Dallas and Dak. Dak is the quarterback. Dak is going to make receivers look great. Dak is hoping that his O-line makes him look greater. Dak is needing his running game to support him. And Dak is hoping that his defense can give him more opportunities so they can go on the field. All I'm saying is you keep giving me Russell Wilson stats and then comparable stats from Dak. And in some metrics, Dak is doing better.
No, in no metrics.
My only point is, if you keep glowing over Russell Wilson, you can't keep slighting Dak. Especially when Russell Wilson is nail-biting at the end of the games to beat that same quarterback who had no help and still took him to the finish.
Every game is a nail-biter. No, you were smart. God, you're way smarter than this.
Really?
Because you acting like a fan. You acting like a fan. You played 10 years in the league. You went to Columbia, and you acting like a fan. Every game is a nail-biter. Every freaking one of these games are 7 points.
Yeah, oh, really? Oh, so
okay,
New England,
sure. Hyperbole. Apologies for hyperbole. 52%, Marcellus. I'm sorry.
Oh, so that's not
50% of the games are 7 points or less.
There is a differentiator that you have to respect. And all I'm saying is if you give Dak the proper support, which includes the chemistry. I'm not saying the name. Ezekiel is amazing. Has Ezekiel been amazing this year? Can we stop?
He hasn't.
Has the O-line been anything this year of whether injuries or just...
But how long will you make excuses? The 49ers, they have nobody.
This is the third game, brother. I'm not going off of 49ers last year's success. I'm not even making excuses. I'm talking about a chemistry gelling process that I'm patient enough to watch and observe. Sounds like you're not. You're coming with indictments before you have all the evidence.
No, it's not I'm coming with indictments. What I'm coming with is I have seen this story before. You lived it because you played for the Cowboys.
Yeah, we were.
I was in the stands for it, so I watched it. I have seen this story before. Tony Romo has what? 2 playoff wins? 2 or 3 playoff wins. The Cowboys with Romo were very, very good. They would win the division at times. They would lose it at times. Dak Prescott, he has what? 2 playoff wins? The Cowboys with Dak Prescott are good. I'm not saying that. But good is the enemy of great.
All I'm saying is Dak, as the quarterback of the Cowboys, has never had a losing season. Dak, as the quarterback of the Cowboys, has won the division twice and came in second the other 2 times. Dak is now looking at his future. Next 5 games, guess who they have? the NFC least, 3 of them, and then Cleveland Browns and the Arizona Cardinals. If they should be able to make some hay going forward. So stop slighting this team.
No, this is my problem, though. This serves my point. Here's what the Cowboys are going to do. The Cowboys are going to whoop the Browns. They're going to whoop the Giants. Dak Prescott is 13-3 against the Giants and the Redskins. He's 28-23 now versus everybody else. Cowboys are going to whoop the Browns, whoop the Giants. Likely going to lose to the Cardinals. Then they're going to whoop the Washington football team. Cowboys are going to look up, and they're going to be 4-3. Oh, yeah, Cowboys are 4-3. They're in first place in the division. They would have beat everybody they're supposed to beat, and they would have lost to the teams they're supposed to lose to. The problem is, Marcellus, if you only beat the teams you're supposed to beat and lose to the teams you're supposed to lose to, you will perennially be 8-8 to 10-6. Yeah. You'll go into the playoffs, depending how sorry your division is, and you'll either win the wild card game or you'll lose the wild card game. That's what the Cowboys have done the last 2 decades. Okay. I'm not even making this up. Look at the data. It all supports it.
I just want to make sure that you understand you're a little too far in the forest to see these trees. I think that Dallas connection, how you grew up and it was miserable for you with Tony Romo, I don't know what the hell happened. But when I tell you a team that is 1-2 has 5 games that are winnable going in front of them, that is 8. You tell me they're going to go 4-3. There's 8 games right now. This team is going to be 6-2. Mark my words when we go to the halfway stretch, and we're going to have this conversation.
This team's not going to be 6-2.
Going forward.